This is me trying to think of an introduction that doesn't start with the stereotypical, hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And you know what? Can't think of one. So this is my introduction. Today, I'm going to talk about fad diets, my opinions on them, how they work, what they do, and the who, what, where, what, who, what, where. Anyway, that's what I'm going to talk about. Basically, when I talk about fad diets, what I mean by fad diets is like the Slimming World, the cabbage soup diet, which weird one, 5-2 diet, Herbalife, what else is there? Weight Watchers. Oh my Christ, there's Atkins. There is so many. The work is that they a lot of them is you're substituting something for something else. So your everyday eating habit for their eating habits. So whether it's Herbalife, you substitute like meals for a shake. If it's Weight Watchers, then you're done, and like Slimming World, I think it's done by points and things like that. And now they've very cleverly brought out their own dishes, usually changing your eating habits for their products. So Herbalife is obviously like the shake and stuff like that, but it also comes at usually a much larger cost. And why people do them? They're quick, very flipping good marketing. So Slimming World, you want to be slim, perfect. Weight Watchers, you want to watch your weight. Herbalife is a very, like, herbal is very good. We associate that with health. It's very simple. So like a lot of these seem very simple, and as a nation especially, we want simple quick fixes, which is what all fad diets tend to offer. And they have, especially now with social media, is they're put out across social media, and we are so exposed to their results, which a lot of them are very extreme results that they get. In all fairness, I know a lot of people that have gained great results from these fad diets, but I'll go on to explain. But there's one main rule about why all of these fad diets tend to get results, and that is because you are reducing your calories. You need to consume less calories than you put out. I don't know whether that works. Out. You need to be eating less calories than you are putting out. So you need to be eating less and moving more. What these like fad diets, let's use Herbalife for an example. I think one of their shakes has got something like 90 calories in. You take away your usual, I don't know, 200, 300 calorie breakfast, and you substitute that for one of those shakes. You slash 200 calories off your breakfast already. So you're already eating less in the day. You then substitute maybe 2 of your meals a day for a shake, and you've slashed off even more. And that's how all of these work. It is literally, all of them are following the simple rule of you're eating less than what you used to. And a lot of these diets, so I know Herbalife does, sorry, I don't want to seem as if I'm picking on Herbalife, because I'm not. Herbalife then encourages you to exercise. Well, you're burning even more calories then, so then you're slashing even more calories out of your diet. And it is basically the science of weight loss. And that is what they're all doing. You hear a lot that when people say, fad diets don't work. Now, they do work, but what we're talking about when we say they don't work is the sustainability. Is that actually when you look at results and like the stats and research across board about fad diets, it tends to say that people put on the weight. Once they stop the fad, they then put on their weight. Stop talking with your hands. They then put the weight back on. And that is literally because you've probably slashed your calories so much, and then you lose all your weight, and you're like, woohoo, woo, lost all my weight. Well, then you just go back to eating how you used to, and you're just gonna put the weight back on. And another factor is that because you're on these fad diets ask you to be on such low calories, cabbage soup especially, for example, you're on such low calories, your body will eventually take away your energy, make you like more tired. You won't have any energy to do anything. You probably won't want to exercise. You probably become very irritable and miserable. Been there, done it. That you'll crash. Your body will crash, binge, done. When I say done, it doesn't mean death. Why would I say these fads aren't sustainable? Now, I said one about how you're on such low calories and your body will eventually crash. And on like things like Slimming World, you're allowed to eat certain foods that are free, or literally 3,000 calories of all my free foods. I'm gonna put on weight. You're only teaching people based on points. You're not teaching people based on like habits and understanding the education of food, which leads on to my next point of there's no education. So these fad diets do not educate anyone on on how foods affect them, why foods affect them, why you need certain foods, when you don't need certain foods and things like that. None of these fad diets do that. So you go through your process of this fad diet, you stop, well that's it, you've stopped. In order to keep continuing progress, you're going to need to carry on this fad diet, which would always, 9 times out of 10, be a brand. So Herbalife, Slimming World, Weight Watchers, which leads on to my next point of if you're always buying into a brand, you're going to be paying that brand. And these fad diets tend to be very expensive. Herbalife is blimming expensive. And healthy eating doesn't have to be. If you have got the right habits and like with lean meat and you make better choices, they don't have to be this expensive. So I would always question, is the price sustainable? In my opinion, no. Is it sustainable? For some people it might be, and they might budget to make sure they've got that because that's what works for them. And if that's great, but I would argue for the everyday person buying shakes and microwave meals that are making you lose weight isn't the most sustainable. Another reason for me personally is your body's always going to adapt to what you're giving them. So if you are on like really low calories, 1,000 calories say, 90 calorie shakes, whatever it is, whatever your fad's asking you to do, your body will eventually adapt to that, which like I said earlier, it will affect your energy and things like that. What happens when you hit a plateau? Because when your body adapts, your body will eventually stop losing that weight and adapt to it. That means you'll stop losing weight, you'll stay. If you're not at your goal, what happens then? What do the fads ask you to do? And 9 times out of 10, you probably wouldn't have made it to then. And like if you do for that long period of time, maybe you should stop having it for you long. In my opinion, it is a complete waste of money. I think that we should tackle like habits and lifestyle changes and understanding and educating food rather than just trying to get a quick fix. But if you are after a quick fix, the thing is there are a lot of people out there that don't care about weight loss, but they might need to fit into a dress in 6 weeks. If you need to fit into a dress in 6 weeks, but then they don't care about putting the weight on, fad diets are fine. You're going to lose that weight and then you're probably going to put it on. Fine. My biggest thing about fad diets is these fads tend to be so expensive, and I know healthy food doesn't need to be expensive. You can cook in bulk, you can freeze meat, you can freeze berries, you can freeze so much and make it last longer that it doesn't need to be expensive. And I think a lot of these fads kind of hop on the bandwagon of everyone thinking healthy is so expensive, and they're a brand, so they need to make money. So they just pile on the price, and us being very vulnerable, we are subject to this whole marketing issue of wanting quick fixes and things like that. We buy into it. Once we see a little bit of results, we want more, we keep buying into it, So what should you do instead of doing a fad diet? I would say burn more calories than you're eating in. So if you're going out for dinner with all your friends and you know you're probably going to eat maybe about 1,000 calories, get to the gym before, burn more, move more. If you don't want to necessarily change your diet, move more. I would eat sensibly and don't deprive yourself. If you love chocolate, eat the chocolate, but in moderation. And that's another issue with those fad diets, is they make you deprive yourself. You deprive yourself from chocolate and things like that. So then when you come off it, you'll binge on it and put on all those calories again and probably crave it even more. So if we look at moderation and not depriving ourselves, moderation, not deprivation, we're going to make maybe slower results, but better results, and ones that are going to stay off for longer. You won't get quick results if you're doing it properly. And I am the biggest example of that possible, and I'll tell you a quick story. So back in September, I did a 6-week challenge. I wasn't tracking, I was eating this very clean lifestyle. What I didn't really notice much is actually I dropped my calories really low from this clean eating lifestyle, because if you opt for cleaner foods, they tend to have a lower calorie count. And I dropped my calories so low, and actually I saw results flipping. By week 4, I'd more or less completed my 6-week challenge, which obviously I loved because I was getting quicker results. However, my energy and things like that really played up for that. I think I've spoken about this in the vlogs a couple of weeks ago. Whereas now, I'm eating a lot more calories. I feel 10 times better in myself. I feel like I've got 10 times more energy, and I'm making slower progress. But that progress I am making, for example, I wake up in the morning, I've got abs. Those little tiny abs are still there when I go to bed. And those little tiny abs are still there after I've eaten. Whereas before, they'd go and I would fluctuate massively. Whereas I feel like slow and steady wins the race. And that's it. I'm going to go and have a chicken sausages. I'm going to go have a couple chicken sausages. And what's the time? Then I'm going to head to the gym. Bye!